Good morning, everybody. It is 11:38 a.m. on Monday, December 28th, 2015. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Although I am on vacation and it's perfectly okay for me to sleep in, there is a little part of me that's wondering if I am doing myself a disservice by sleeping in so late and not maintaining at least a semi-normal sleep schedule. It's just going to be that much harder to recover and get back to the normal routine when the week is up. But oh well. Today I had like an extra justification for sleeping in some because there was a fire alarm in the middle of the night, 2:30 a.m. So there was apparently some sort of an actual fire something. Um, I'm not sure which unit it was or whatever, but like 3 fire trucks showed up and they were here for a while, so it was a full hour before I was back in bed. There's no damage that I was able to see, but there was a smell kind of like burnt rubber in the hallway. So Luna was very alarmed by the sound, um, which it's one of those things like with thunder where you wish you could explain to them that they don't have to be so freaked out. But she was not a happy camper during that whole process. But everyone is fine as far as I know. I don't, like I said, I don't actually know specifically where the fire was, but there wasn't an ambulance or anything, just 3 fire trucks. Yeah, so that was part of why I was up late. Um, Other just miscellaneous stuff. I had a really fun encounter in Fallout 4 yesterday that I shared as a YouTube video. So if you look on the same channel, it's a really fun but kind of short, just like 3.5 minute video of Fallout 4 that I thought was a really fun and exciting encounter. So check that out. Also, I started watching the Star Wars Clone Wars cartoon yesterday. I'd heard from a lot of people that it was good and worth watching, and so I'm now, I've watched the movie and 5 or 6 episodes of season 1, and yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it so far. Although my understanding is the parts that people say thinking of when they say, "Oh, it's so good," are a little bit later in the run. So I'm encouraged. I'm going to continue watching it. I'm liking it. One of the things that kind of comes to mind, though, that's just been bugging me lately is just when people are talking about Star Wars in general, and this is not spoilery at all to the new movie, so don't worry about that, but one of the sort of fun little, something that I generally like is sort of fan theorizing about alternate perspectives for various things, and one of the standard ones for Star Wars actually comes from Clerks, but I think people could come up with it otherwise too, is just that joking about the idea that Luke actually killed millions of people in a terrorist attack when he blew up the Death Star, and that whole thing, and like, oh, what about all the civilian contractors and everything, and like, it's funny for a moment, I think, to joke about that perspective, but I'm starting to get bugged with people just stating it like, oh yeah, like one of the things about Star Wars is they just like keep glossing over the fact that the heroes kill millions of people, and I'm like, do they? I don't think so, especially since blowing up the Death Star is not remotely a good example of that, because think about it. Let's go ahead and take as granted that there's a lot of civilian contractors aboard the Death Star, okay? The Death Star had just blown up a whole planet. Specifically, a planet that wasn't even a military target in any way. They had no weapons. It was peaceful. It was millions, perhaps billions, of people who were only civilians, and the only reason the planet was selected was because Princess Leia happened to be from there. And that is the only reason the Empire blew up a whole planet. A non-military target. And they knew that's what it was. They didn't think that it was a base. It wasn't a mistake. It was explicitly blowing up a non-military planet just to motivate Leia. That's what the Death Star was. It was explicitly a military base, and it was coming to blow up the rebel base. It was not only self-defense, but it was the destruction and the taking out of the game of an incredible. It was like essentially the equivalent here is your enemy has launched a nuclear missile at you, and you shoot it out of the air so that, and not only, so they launch a nuclear missile at you after having already nuked a whole other city, and you shoot the nuclear missile out of the air, and some of the debris falls down on the surrounding landscape of your enemy's country, and some people are killed. You know what? That's not a terrorist attack. It is self-defense and collateral damage in a legitimate, I can't think of a more legitimate military attack. If there had been any other way to stop the Death Star without blowing it up, they probably might have done that. But you know what? I think if you're a civilian contractor, and they brought this up in the clerks debate too, is if you're a civilian contractor and you're building something like the Death Star, and you're hanging around on board after the Alderaan was blown up, look, I think at that point you have what is known in the industry as a moral hazard. You either need to divest yourself from that project or to consider yourself associated with it. And if you are helping the Empire to build a weapon that can destroy whole planets, I don't think you can really consider yourself an innocent civilian any longer. It's kind of like saying, oh, I'm just a civilian. All I do is make and load the guns. So, I don't know. I don't know why that particular little bit of fan wake bugs me so much, but it does. Anyway, I think I'll get over it. Talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes.